Yeah, you know, some mixed comments from the Prime Minister. Just in the last 5 minutes since he began speaking, he's talked about the need for brotherhood and unity in Turkey, something that sounds quite conciliatory in the direction of the protesters. He's also said, a slight correction from what we were saying earlier, that he tried to understand those who didn't vote for him. Maybe interesting that he's using the word tried and not trying to understand. And just after that, he said that the protesters' demands are unclear. Going on here, he's saying that the legitimate demands of protesters will be heard. Just a little bit of context. You know, since these protests have began in Turkey, we've heard the Prime Minister take a very strident view of them. He's called the protesters looters. He's accused them of being extremists. We have not really gotten the kind of conciliatory language that many analysts say would help diffuse the conflict. Quite to the contrary, he's been quite aggressive, and some people say his aggressive language and the aggressive tactics of the police early on in the demonstrations is exactly why we got to the protests reach the apex that they reached late last week and continue until now. Having said that, and John's here, you know, the market has been all over the place in reacting to this, up, down, and now.
Well, let me give you a quick snapshot, guys. You've got stocks high, you've got the Turkish lira up, it's up against the dollar, it's up against the euro. Now, that's largely because the central bank has come out and they have said they're going to implement measures to tighten monetary policy. That's supporting the Turkish lira. What I find absolutely fascinating, though, is those comments from the Turkish economy minister. He comes out this morning, it's pure politics. He says that the foreign media coverage is creating a panic atmosphere. That's what is affecting these markets. Turkish yields would have fallen to 2.5% without these protests.
Yes, he also takes aim at what he calls the blood-sucking interest rate lobby, which effectively sounds like he's almost accusing the foreign media of colluding with this so-called interest rate lobby, pushing up yields because he says they want Turkey to pay more to borrow money.
He's obviously trying to stir popular consent, but you've really got to look at the facts. Since May 22nd, Turkish stocks are down 15%. That was the day Ben Bernanke signalled that the central bank may trim stimulus over the next couple of months within the US. And that weighed on markets, emerging markets more generally, not just Turkey. And to really try and politicise this, which essentially is what they're doing, they're trying to control things within their own country. But you're missing half the story.
I mean, I think, you know, when it comes to the markets, the one thing that you can say that the political unrest has contributed to is uncertainty and volatility on the Turkish market. So the question really at this point, when you talk to the analysts and the economists, is how long is this going to go on? If this is just a fleeting incident in Turkey's development, no big deal. If it continues, you know, for another couple of weeks, you know, Goldman Sachs, for one, says that could start to hurt growth, and obviously that could spook investors.